%, Christian. 10% of players picked Eli Tomac to be in first last week.
And we told everyone to do it, and we still didn't do it.
We didn't even listen to ourselves. Welcome back, everyone. I am Chase.
I'm Christian.
We are the RMFantasy SXperts, back for round 3 of Monster Energy Supercross and the Fantasy Show. We are coming to you live on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome. If you have not played RMFantasy SX before, you are missing out. Go to RMFantasySX.com, create your free, you heard me right, free account. It's absolutely free to play. And then once you've done that, make your top 5 picks, pick a wild card. You can join groups, sit back, watch Supercross, have even more fun if that is possible. And as always, join Christian and I each and every week right before the races, after Race Day Live. We give you stats. We talk about riders. We just bench race. We love to chat with everyone while we're doing this and just get your thoughts. And we have guest speakers call in each and every week as well.
Yep, got some good ones tonight.
Yep. And lastly, if you hear this voice.
What's up, guys?
That's Josh Prowse. He's our camera guy behind the scenes. So let's get right into it, Christian. So, well, hold on real quick. We got to go back. Okay. I start out 10%. We gave a stat in last week's show that a lot of people did not heed to, including ourselves, that the last 6 times that Eli Tomac had finished outside the top 10, what does he do?
Comes back and wins.
Comes back and wins. What does he do after H1 where he gets 13th?
Comes back and wins.
Now, some people might say he was gifted that first place, which, okay, if you want to take that route,
that far.
You got to keep it on 2 wheels if you want to win a race. So,
I agree with that.
But comes back and wins. So what do you do tonight?
The second he won, everybody started messaging us that stat. Why didn't we listen to this? So we don't know. We didn't do it either.
Oh, man. But anyway, if you guys are watching, please comment below as we go through. We want to talk to you guys, hear your thoughts on, the subjects that we're going to be covering tonight, and we'll try and respond back to you guys as we go through also. Yep. So keep it fancy, keep it polite, and let's have a good time.
I like that.
All right, let's recap it.
Let's get into Houston to recap. I mean, it was a crazy night, 250 and 450 class, but results: Tomac first, Ferranda second, Brayton third.
Oof.
First podium in a while. WEBB fourth, Roczen fifth, Freezy wild card, almost a given. We should have known. And not without drama, though. There were points penalized, jumping on a red flag. Roczen had words about it on his Instagram, I heard. So
yeah, it's hard because rules are rules.
I've never seen anyone come out and say, "Yeah, I did it. Take them away. You're right."
Yeah.
So they're going to argue it no matter what.
But I mean, those 4 points with how things are going back.
I mean, what is it? The top 10 players are like 10 points apart. So
yeah,
or 10 riders.
But we'll talk about it a little bit more too. But real quick, was Ferrandis a fluke?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it was a fluke.
Fair enough. We'll ask Kristen B because she's going to be calling in later too. We'll ask her what her thoughts are.
That's right.
Average score was 22.44 points. I got less than that. I think I got 15. I had Osborne for second. And what does he do? He crashes out with like a lap to go. Yep. And then I had Webb for third. Can't pass Brayton. Screwed me up right there. Otherwise, could have been a good night.
Tickle really, I almost got him in 15th. That one hurt.
Oh, man.
I only have 25 points total on the year. So.
No one got 5 picks right. The most anyone got right was 4, and I'd love to hear their thoughts on that.
And for people saying who picked Brayton and Ferrandis on the podium, there you go.
0.12%. Wow.
Very small amounts, but some people are doing it. If you did that, you need to contact us and let us know why, because you know something we don't.
But look at that. 64% of players had Roczen in first. What's it look like for this week for Tomac? It's probably flipped, huh?
It was looking up there, about 40% Tomac so far. So
jeez.
But AC really burning us.
Yeah.
Really burning us. this year.
Sexton, man.
He went down in the sand. He took like 10 minutes to get back up. I don't know what was going on there.
Oh, well, you've got some fun facts on here. So look at that. Roczen's the only rider so far to be in the top 5 both rounds.
That's shocking.
That's kind of crazy. I would not have guessed that if you'd have told me that. And look at that. These riders have taken the exact same position in different heats this season. AC 3rd, Anderson 6th. BARCIA's won his heats.
Mm-hmm.
Brayton's there, and Tomac's only got 4th in both his heat races.
Yeah, really weird to have that many riders take the same place in heats this year. But that's what they're doing.
Well, let's talk about some of the highlights. Look at this. Hold on here. Evelyn Jeffers. It's got Tomac, Roczen, WEBB, Muscan, Ferrandis. Muscan and Ferrandis didn't qualify that well, and I think if you don't have OSBORNE, even though he did crash in your top 5 this week, I think you're crazy.
I have him up there on the podium for sure.
Oh, look at that. Paul Verbeek says Ferrandis is the best. We'll talk. Hey, I'm not taking away Ferrandis' podium as second place, but we've got some stuff to talk about as far as whether or not I think he should be in your top 5 again. Personal opinion on that, but let's talk about some of your favorite highlights from the night.
All right, let's start it off with the crash off the start in the first heat. I mean, Bogle, Raper, Freezy, Davalos.
And what's funny is we did a poll, and we asked what rider is most likely to take other riders out. Who was the number 1 picked rider?
Well, it's always Freezy.
It's always Freeze Raid, right?
Come on.
He comes in here. He takes some guys out in the start.
Dude.
Oh, my gosh. And then as if things could not get worse after this happens, right? He takes out Bogle. Who else was in there? There's Freeze. Davalos is on the ground. As if things can't get worse, what does he do the very next gate drop? He tries to fix his throttle on the starting line. Clearly, it's not fixed, and he whiskey throttles his motorcycle into on. How did his motorcycle not kill somebody?
Dude, and he blew a hole in his pants.
Oh my gosh! Like little plug for Liat right there, but come on. How do you do this?
I mean, you lose your bike.
He let go before he hit the ground.
And how do you tear a hole in your pants like that?
Because he sat on his rear tire. Like, oh my gosh, Freeze. Can we get it together?
I mean, close. That could have went from bad to
shout out to Brayton and Ferrandis, though. I mean, they had a bike coming at their heads and somehow managed to just, like, keep it composed and then just take off.
Instincts at that point. They've raced with Freezy before. They know what's going on.
But it was pretty wild. And then Ferrandis, I got to put this out there, and this is another thing we'll talk about because tonight you saw in the practice long whoop section, Ferrandis almost died twice. Okay, maybe not died, but had there been another 2 or 3 whoops in this whoop section right here?
I think a lot of people are forgetting about this.
Had there not been a crash at least once, because there was one time he went through, then he comes through and passes.
Looking like the Squirrel Master right there.
Oh, my gosh. He was – I mean, the man was on rails, but part of me thinks he is –
I mean, that was close to ending the night.
Oh, it could have been bad. So there's a couple times where he got buck wild in the whoops, and they were talking about it on the broadcast as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
you got to mention the Jet Lawrence win.
That was
cool.
Good for him.
I mean, young kid.
Out front. Do you see him, though, in practice crashing the whoops?
Yeah.
And that Faulkner has crashed out of a season in qualifying.
We're going back to ACL, then Salt Lake, what happened there, now this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad. I'm a Faulkner fan.
It's not good. So. All right, well, let's talk about track trends real quick. We've all seen the racing tonight. Riders are talking about how they think the track's a lot better. What do you guys think? Is the track looking good? You guys liking it more tonight?
The right-hander?
Yeah.
What goes on there?
Yeah, right-handed start tonight. Here's a thought, though. First poll that we're going to throw up here in just a moment. What do people think of sand sections?
I love them.
Yes or no? You love them? I like them.
I say
any obstacle that can mix things up. We had 3 top guys go down in the sand last weekend.
Yeah, nobody wants to see anyone go down or get hurt, but I like something that's separating these riders. I mean, if you're crashing in there all the time, you need to slow down.
I don't know. So right up there, comment, tell us, do you like the sand? Do you not like the sand? I would love to see more sand sections.
Me too. I think it's cool.
Sand. Anything that mixes it up a little bit. Look, Philip Dodge says no. Why don't you like him, Philip? Paul Verbeek says maybe. Love the sand. Feel it helps mix it up and separates them. See, JJ Outdoors, I'm with you on that.
My favorite
is
when they do
it.
that ski jump into the sand and riders are just landing.
Like Monster Cup style?
Yeah,
that's always fun. Look at that. A lot of yeses. More sand, says David Dowling.
They got a fever, and what they need is more sand, is what it's looking like.
It looks like more yeses than nos coming in right now. Absolutely. I am digging it. Yeah, I like the sand section. But let's talk about the whoop section tonight. You've got riders who are good in whoops, like Ken Roczen, who qualified really, really good. Malcolm Stewart's really good in the whoop section.
And then you got riders that are not so good.
Yeah, typically
Webb.
guys that jump through maybe a little bit sooner, like
Loose
Cooper
can.
Webb. Yeah, do you think that has an effect on tonight's racing?
I think they have short
long
enough
whoop
lap
section.
times where they're putting so many laps on it. It's breaking down pretty good.
But I feel like the whoop section, yeah, the track's going to break down. Tonight's track, I definitely feel like is going to challenge the riders more. But I do think there's going to be a lot of passes being made in the whoop section. You're going to have guys that are going to start jumping them early.
Yeah.
And you'll have guys, and I think whatever rider can just figure out consistency lap after lap and finding out what's the fast line through the whoop section is going to have, an advantage. Because if you're, say, 0.3 of a second faster than the guys, around you, when you're doing 25 laps, that adds up to a lot of seconds. So
whoops and sand. I mean, you got to hit that sand section.
Yeah. Look at
without
that.
a lot of traffic.
It's funny because I think the riders would all disagree with this poll right now, but yet the fans, which is what matters, fans are loving it, so I like it.
Didn't we have Weston Pike last year, and he was all about it, make the tracks as hard as possible. And he said, if you don't like it, don't race.
I want to throw back to like the 90s. I want like the tracks where you have like rhythm sections that don't make very much sense, and they're really poppy doubles.
Uneven
and,
type stuff.
Oh, that was so hay bells on the side. Like it was like death cross back. It was really like Phil Nicoletti really was death cross back in the day.
Good stuff.
All right, so let's talk about some injuries tonight. Bogle.
Banged up again.
Banged
Sucks
up.
to see.
Savacci. Did you see him in qualifying?
He was back out there.
He was back out there, so he'll be there tonight. But both of those guys really aren't going to be in the conversation tonight because the wild card's 7th place, so not much to talk about there.
Still no McElrath.
Yeah, and Sexton.
Sexton's out.
Yeah, and then we saw Freezy, People's Champ. He crashed out in the whoop, so I doubt he'll be back tonight.
We recommend getting them all out of your picks right now if you still have them in there. So,
all right, so look at that poll, sand section. It's in. I hope Feld sees that, and they just say, all right, let's keep them in.
Somebody's voting for more hay bales.
Oh, all right. Well, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about our top contenders. We're going to get Kristen Beat here on the phone in just a few minutes and talk to her about some of the other questions we have for tonight. But first up, the red points leader still, due to a technicality or a points loss from Ken Roczen.
I mean, people are wondering what went on last week with him. Let the people know.
All right. BARCIA, what I heard is that his shifter fell off, or it was a problem with his shifter and he was stuck in a single gear. I don't know what gear, but he was stuck in a gear.
Well, that's why he was so mad
those last few laps of the race. Yeah. Well, what do you guys think? Comment below. Where do you guys have Justin BARCIA tonight? Because he came out firing at Houston 1. Last week was subpar. He didn't get a good start, but I talk about it each week, dude. That second practice, who hole shotted that thing?
Roczen,
and BARCIA was right there.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
Webb.
All right, so yeah, what are our thoughts? But
what do we got on BARCIA? Let's get into it.
Yeah, so he's been on both ends of the top 10 so far. He won, and then he took 9th. So, and his starts, that's interesting because a lot of the top guys, they've had some good starts and some bad starts. We've seen that with Tomac, which you'd kind of expect.
Yeah.
But Roczen's seen both ends of the spectrum. So is Webb and BARCIA as well. So, I don't know. What do you think, though? Does he hold on to the red plate after tonight?
I don't think so.
I
don't even have him in my top 5.
Like I see Connor Murphy's got him in first.
Oh
Top
my gosh!
fi-
I mean,
no,
the
top
BARCIA
five, seventh,
Law
second.
Nation is strong.
Yeah, but BARCIA Law, I think I think people are starting to doubt that another win.
I have a hard time buying into it. And I'm a
Wouldn't
BARCIA
surprise
fan.
me if he won tonight. Where did he qualify? Did he? Man,
BARCIA's up there in 8th right now.
ugh.
So
Yeah, he needs a good start, man. Look at that. Not too many people have him in first. Kind of interesting.
I don't even have him
Ashton
in my top
G's
5.
got him in 3rd. Pete Stankus has him in 6th. 7th for the wild card from JJ Maxwell. That's interesting.
Well, he has qualified as far back as 13th. He
Yeah.
still made the top 5 going back to last season. Just had a mishap last round.
Yeah, but look at this. His fastest lap at Houston 2 on Tuesday was over 2 seconds slower than the fastest lap of the race. So he just wasn't on pace. I don't know, shifter lever or not. He just didn't look as strong.
Red plate or not, he's risky for me tonight. So I don't have him in there.
He's not in your top 5.
No.
I think, let me check right here. I have BARCIA up in 4th place right now, but that could change after our conversation we just had.
Okay.
Definitely not for the win. Not feeling the confidence yet. What about our boy Ken Roczen?
K-Rock.
Just qualified 2nd.
Yep.
He could have won Houston 1, but he was too polite.
He was looking good in the whoops tonight, which we both pointed out.
Tuesday he rode really, really well. However, Webb got him late. And I think there was actually quite a few riders that started to get a little bit tired on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They did a ton of laps. And, yeah, he definitely looked a little bit tired.
And you're on that short turnaround, no doubt.
Yeah.
But
what do you think, though?
Climbed from a 14th place to 5th place last round.
There's a lot of people
Can't
that
take
have
that away from him.
Look at that. A lot of first, seconds, thirds for Roczen. I think Kenny should be on the box tonight. That's what my heart is telling me right now.
He's got the best starting average. I mean, we've only done 2 rounds, but I just bank on his starts. Took until lap 11 to get to 6th and lap 20 to get to 5th. So he's still pushing. He's not settling.
But his average start is the best right now?
Of anyone, yeah.
And that's with a bad start at Houston, too. That just kind of shows you how all over the map riders have been so far. Tomac, you were banking on a good start last week, and what does he do? He rips a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now,
Roczen, I got him up there in 2nd place right now.
All right, yeah. Right now I have Tomac to win and then Roczen second, but with Roczen qualifying so well, I might flop those two because I have more confidence in Roczen starts.
Yeah, no arguing.
All right. Marvin Muscan. This man went down. He did not qualify well today. He was outside the top 10.
No, he was 9th.
Was he 9th?
He was 9th.
Oh, man.
But he's lurking on that overall standings.
I don't know.
Lurking deep. What is he, like 4 points back or something like that? I predicted he's going to win the championship next year because he's going to dunge his way to it.
Look at that. M. Dean's got wild card for Marvin Muscan.
No.
4th.
Tied for the 2nd best average overall finish, 4.5. Only 2 points back of that red plate. My bad.
Is he really? You know who's in second in points right now? Isn't it Dylon? It's pretty wild. Look, Marvin Muscant.
Marvin Muscant. Leave him out of your top 5 if you're asking me.
Marvin Muscan, leave him out of your top 5 tonight.
You don't have him in your top 5?
Steve Brinkart, we'll see about that. I'll have to decide later on if I want to put Tomac in first. But here's the only thing that scares me a little bit about tonight. You saw the whoop section in practice. It's long, and that could have been why he didn't qualify well. Marv has never been a guy that is good at blitzing. If there's a good jump line through the whoop section tonight, that would probably favor Marv. But if it's faster to blitz him the whole night, then I think he's going to run into problems. And if he's not qualifying well already, I don't know. He's going to have to rip a really good start, I think, to run out the pace of those top guys.
I see him getting a good start, and I see him a little fired up after going down last round. So I'm still putting him in 5th.
Okay, Tomac.
He's going to win.
You've got him. You've got him winning tonight. A lot of people have him winning tonight. Nukes, Dylon. Nukes, Dylon. Roczen from start to finish has Clit Dunlop. Oof. All right. Where's everyone putting Tomac? Comment below. Where do you put? You got to win tonight.
I have him to win.
I'm first or second. But, oh gosh, dude, I don't even know what to do with Osborne right now. It's like it's all just coming. It's overload right now in my brain. But
I'm just saying, if Tomac qualifies first, it's just an unwritten rule for me. I put him to win.
Yeah, Tomac's the kind of guy where when he's feeling a flow, tonight's the night where I feel like this will be the first time, holy cow, people are just pouring in Tomacs right now. Third, second, first. J.J. Maxwell's got him to win. Logan Ford's got him top 3.
Second behind AC.
This is the first time or the first track so far where I feel like Tomac could start in that 7th to 10th range and make a charge for them. So maybe it's a night where you don't stress as much about his start and you give him some more faith to just charge through the pack.
I think so.
But if he rips a good start, look out.
And he's going to be wanting that red plate.
Man, look at that. It's mostly podiums, but Ryan Arroyo, and I hope I'm saying that right, it's got him for 5th. That would have to be, I think, a 5th place, a worse than 4th place tonight for Tomac. I think something has to go wrong for him.
Yeah, I just think if you're putting him in your top 5, you got to put him to win.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of going to the James
And
Stewart
he won
route.
back-to-back rounds twice last season, which was more.
He's done it. Yeah, he's won back-to-back rounds in the last 3 seasons or something like that. So he's done it before. We all know he can do it.
Yeah.
All right. What is he? 4 points back of the red plate. So
look at that. Ruben Barrasa's got Tomac attack. Brayton's got him in 3rd. Tomac, Roczen, Osborne is the podium. That's a good. See, Garrick, I think you're onto something right there. That should be your podium, in my opinion, just maybe not in the exact same order.
Tomac, Roczen, Osborne?
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see.
I'm just going to say right now, that is my podium. So I'm with
Rodney Troyer's got him in 4th. Oh, that's tough.
The Tomacs?
Yeah.
Tomac back.
No. I got him in fifth. Too. Maverick 224's got him in fifth. People are crazy. All right.
Hey, what do you guys think we run a poll on just who people think is going to win tonight?
I like that because
All right.
that's where your whole pick starts.
Let's run that poll, and then let's get Kristen Beat on the phone and get her thoughts after that.
Yep.
And then we're having a dial-on.
If
poll.
you're doing good in fantasy, if you get the winner right, you're going to do good in fantasy. So
all right, Josh, throw it up there on the screen. We got their next poll coming up. Who is going to win round 3?
Tomac or WEBB or other?
Oh, Roczen, Tomac, WEBB, says Tom Robbins. Man, WEBB's a little iffy for me tonight, too. He's never been the strongest guy in the whoops, and he didn't qualify that well.
I have him in 4th because I feel like he's in the danger zone where he needs to do something. I mean, he can't keep reeling off these stats he has.
Tyler Lewis says second place if Freezy doesn't get in the way. Freezy doesn't look like he might not even line up tonight. He just got wrecked. All right, look at our poll that we have up on the screen right now. Vote. Who do you think is going to win tonight? I'm assuming right now that majority of votes are going to be between Tomac and Roczen, even though I think OSBORNE has a very good chance.
Yeah, we looked up the stat even on the right-handed starts. Was it Salt Lake last year? He, I think, started in 3rd, the right-hander. So,
yeah,
could be something there with that too.
We'll see how it goes. Oh man, a lot of votes coming in. When's AC going to win a race? Have you ever seen a guy be so fast to not win a race in a season and a little over a season?
I was way high up. I picked him to win round 1, but after he went down in the sand and took forever, it reminded me of Tomac in East Rutherford that one year where he took like 10 minutes to get up. It just something does not look right with AC to me. That's just what I'm saying. So I'm not picking AC in my top 5. Do you have him in your top 5 this week?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Just because he hasn't shown me that he can just put it all. I mean, he got 4th of round 1. He was a little off and then went down last week. But if he finished in the top 5, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. He qualified well tonight. Point. Honestly, out of my top 5 right now, BARCIA would be the guy that I would swap AC for. Just not feeling the BARCIA love right now.
I would put BARCIA in my top 5 before AC, but still, neither one of them's in there.
Oh, man. Look at this poll. More people right now. Roczen's got the slight lead. Oh, man.
You got 42 votes for Roczen, 31 votes for Tomac so far.
Interesting. Well, let's see here.
Sand will make a difference tonight. I agree.
AC, there's some votes for AC from Carlos.
I want to see 7 Deuce Deuce on the top step doing some freestyling. We all do, trust me.
Well, he's got to win an LCQ to do that.
He had a rough LCQ last week.
He had a rough qualifying. Did you see Group B? Some of the guys that were like mid-pack in the second 450B were like 8 or 9 seconds off from the fast guys.
He's
holy crap!
25th tonight.
Oh man, it's kind of crazy.
Pull it off. So.
Well, look at this. I am surprised that there's still more people putting Roczen ahead of Tomac. It's not that I don't think Roczen could win, but typically when we see Tomac win, the Tomac train's rolling and people are just buying tickets
right now. But let's get into OSBORNE. A lot of people don't know where to put them in the first 2 rounds. Where do you have OSBORNE tonight?
Oh, right now, I have him in second place.
Second.
Mm-hmm.
I have him in 3rd.
Well, look, his results don't reflect how well he is riding and what his starts have been. So,
it's true.
Houston won. He went down in the start straight, comes all the way back to, 10th or 9th?
10th.
After passing a lot of good dudes.
Yep.
And then last week, he's up there. He's running up front. He's catching Tomac, although I don't think he would have passed him. I think Tomac was still just kind of pacing him. But he was riding really good last week, went down, could have had a second place easily.
It's right in there. Ran in second place from laps 9 to 26.
Yeah.
So he was there for a while. It's the 10th place is more of a fluke than anything to me.
Right. So Zach, I just feel like Zach is due.
My thing is he getting unlucky or is he riding over his head?
No, I think last week, like I talked about earlier, I think a lot of riders got tired. Kenny looked tired, and I think OSBORNE too had looked a little bit tired. I think maybe he was pushing hard to try and catch Tomac, and when you're having 2 races that are that close, people might not realize it, but I think it wears you out a little bit.
I'm going with Steven Taylor. I'm putting 10 numbers in a hat and picking blind. If that works, we want to hear from you next week and see how you did.
Look at that. Kyle Nicolai says Tomac could have easily finished 4th last week. It's too soon to be on the Tomac train.
I don't know if it's ever wrong.
I don't know. He just won and then qualified fastest tonight.
A lot of people asking about Malcolm. Let's get into him. I have him more of a wild card pick this week.
Do you? 7th? He looked tired too. Did you see in the highlights last week, it almost looked like he was just kind of throwing in the towel and letting some people by. If you look at the lap chart right here on the screen, right there towards later in the race, like the last, maybe a little bit less than the last third, he started going backwards. And I really think that was fatigue. He didn't go down. I think he just got tired. And tonight on a track that might be a little bit more demanding, they won't do as many laps, but it kind of worries me.
The guy has been ripping starts, though.
He's been
7th
getting
and
good
6th place starts.
And he did well at Houston 1 and got 5th.
His finishes are 5 and 7 on the season. With Sexton being out, that's got to move him up a spot. I still have him in the wild card for this week, 7th. 37 laps in 5th place in the first 2 rounds. Yeah. That's pretty big.
Look at that. John Bork says Ferrandis passed him in the whoops. I know. That's what I'm talking about. I think Malcolm got tired. I think he just...
Well, that's his forte. It's a whoops. Malcolm.
Yeah,
if he's
it is.
Passing there,
and
something's going
Kenny on. and Webb both passed him basically on the same straightaway, and it looked like Malcolm just said, I got nothing for you. Take it from me. So, BARCIA for the wild card since Lance Stein.
I even thought about that.
All
I
right.
don't know why, but it sounds right.
Well, look, there's one rider that I really want to talk about because he's probably high up on everybody's list right now. But let's get Kristen Beat on the phone, and let's talk about Dylan Ferrandis, and let's see what she thinks about his second place. Can you count as a true second place with 3 fast guys going down? And where do you put him tonight?
Yeah, is he a safe top 5 is what I want to know.
All right, let's get her on the phone right now. Let's get Kristen on here. Triple threat. Chase Sexton's out. If she doesn't answer right now, we look bad on live TV.
She's on site at Arena Cross right now, too.
That's true.
Chase fanboy, too.
Oh, my gosh.
How hard did 14 go down?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's up, Kristen? How you doing?
I am good. I'm whispering right now because I just stepped out of a sit-down interview to take this call with y'all for Arena Cross. So, now I can put you on speakerphone and be loud. You're fine. You're good.
All right.
I can multitask, guys. I'm a pro at this. Hold on.
All right. So, hey, real quick, give us your thoughts on last week's racing. What'd you think?
I was not surprised that Eli Tomac came back. I mean, statistically, it was in the books. Anytime he's finished outside of the top 10, he's gone on to win it in the next race. So, I wasn't surprised by Eli Tomac taking that win. But outside of these wins that we're seeing multiple riders be able to kind of secure, sorry, it's really cold. I'm freezing right now. We're in Oklahoma. It's like 32 degrees. This is where I go to get silence. But I think this year in particular, before the season even started, I tweeted, we're going to see more single race winners than any other season before. And that's proven itself to be true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could see a new one tonight, and no one would be surprised.
I know. Well, I mean, Sexton and AC both had their first chance to get a win last week, and they both threw it away in the sand section. And that, Kristen, brings us to this question. Dylan Ferrandis, he rode his butt off, gets second place.
Right.
However, he started, when we looked at his starts, because he had a horrible start in H1. Last week, he was like 13th around the first corner, so he did not get a good start. And you had 3 top guys all go down in front of him, or 4, excuse me. So do you think he's a safe bet for another top 5 tonight?
Has he done enough for you to put him in your top 5 tonight?
So I have been changing around my fantasy picks left and right. Because apparently I just live in my own head. But I did put Dylan Ferrandis in my top 5. I was really impressed with him, and I think because he's one of those riders who adapts and gets more comfortable and gains confidence, with each race, I feel like he's going to continually improve.
Yeah, he definitely looked high on life on the podium.
Okay.
He was excited.
All right.
Mind you, I'm actually right next to Cullen Park, who will be racing in the Supercross Series in the near future. So if you guys want to say hi to him, he's next to me right now with the Arena Cross Series.
Well, ask Colin real quick who is picked to win this tonight, because that's the golden question right now for most people.
I don't have a specific, but I got to say it's going to be Ken or Tomac.
Ken or Tomac. My pick was Tomac.
That's what it's looking like.
Tomac. That's what most people are looking like. But if you looked at Kenny, he was second place in qualifying. He looked good, and I have a little bit more confidence in Kenny's starts over Tomac. But
do you really?
Tomac has gotten 4th place in both heat races so far this year, and he's had one okay start in a good start in last week's main. But until then, out of 3 other starts, he hadn't done very good. And that's always been, I think, like Tomac's Achilles heel is like you can't count on that guy to just rip a good start.
Yeah, more often, no doubt.
So I mean, I'm curious. Who are you guys' picks? I haven't lurked in the fantasy picks to see who you guys have picked.
Right now, Kristen, I'm leaning towards either Zach Osborne or Ken Roczen, to be honest.
I got Tomac to
Osborne.
Repeat.
That's bold. That is bold.
Well, you know what? I think he's due. He was the next best guy behind Tomac last week, and I think if you give Zach a good start, running up in the top 5 off the start gate, I don't see a reason why he doesn't win. And his starts have been pretty good.
Well, you know what they say? It's like spend big to win big. You got to put more in the machine if you want more out.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't think Zach was a bad choice, but I've been really frustrated with the whole fantasy picks this year because I feel like every time I have like a solid pick, like even the first round, remember how passionately I lobbied for y'all to choose Justin Barcia. I told you guys, pick Justin Barcia. 5 minutes before closing, I changed my pick, and I completely reformatted my top 5. I would have been so much further along if I had Muskin in the right place. I had Barcia in the right place, and sure enough, I moved my picks around. And the first thing that everyone has told me is no, go with your gut. Always go with your gut.
Yep.
And now I'm regretting it because I'm like, dang it, I apparently just live in my own head. Like, so unfair.
It's so hard not to change them last minute. We call that violating the cardinal rule.
Yeah.
If there's 5 minutes or less, do not change your picks because it will most.
Well, thanks for telling me that before I started playing, guys. I appreciate the help.
Hey,
we're still figuring it out too.
Right.
Some weeks it should be RMFantasySX with a question mark at the end. All right. Well, hey, so for right now we had a poll going. Josh, how'd that poll end? Mm-hmm. We had a poll whether or not Ferrandis' podium was a fluke, and right now more people think it was a fluke than not.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So
58% say yes.
The people agree. Don't put him in your top 5 tonight.
I didn't.
I disagree with that. I have him currently in my top 5, and I think that people underestimate Ferrandis because he is not as outspoken. Like he's not one of those guys that is just a front runner. Like he's an opener. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But like if you've looked at his career, at his stats, like he performs better when he's on a roll. So like if he knocks off one podium, he's going to start knocking off 5. It's like tipping a domino, right? You tip one domino and you get 15 more after it. So I feel like Dylan Ferrandis tipped the domino last weekend, and we're just going to start seeing him rattling off those podiums and those potentially wins.
Well, I guess we'll find out who's right in a few hours. She is confident.
I like it.
She was on the BARCIA train, and look what happened.
Just don't change those
smash. Just don't. Yeah.
I flip-flop.
All right. Well, Kristen, one last question before we let you go. Give us your bold prediction. Who's going to win the championship this year?
I can't do that, y'all. You're putting me on the spot here. Gosh.
No.
You know, if I were to say right now, just based on what we've seen, I'm going to go with Eli Tomac. I think that sometimes you have to have something go wrong, like a setback sets the stage for a comeback, right? Opening round, it's a setback. He got that wake-up call. It was like, wait, okay, we got to kick things into high gear. He's in high gear now. I think he goes on to win the championship.
Yeah. All right.
Well, there's some years he's down by 20 points
out of the way.
by this point.
Yep.
So.
All right.
We're going streaking. He's going streaking.
It is true. All right. Well, Kristen, one more time, tell people you have a group on the fantasy page that people can go and join up and play. And you're one of our influencers this year. And what's cool is tell these people what you're planning to do with the money that you're.
Cross guys, most Supercross guys, they're all in the group. So we have a pretty funny group chat going on right now, too. So that makes it even more fun. Everyone's kind of taking jobs at each other. But this year, as we partnered with y'all as an influencer, I decided that at the end of the year, all the influencer dollars that I'm kind of gathering from different motorsports-based partners, I'm going to pool. And at the end of the year, I'm going to match that amount of money and then give it to a privateer because the sport's done so much for me throughout my career. And I think it's time to do what we can for some of the guys who are just starting out or guys who are trying to make it to the race. So when you guys join my fantasy group, RMFantasySX is going to help me out, help privateers get to the races. And you guys will just have to excuse me. I'm freezing right now. We're like outside. I'm trying to
we'll let you go to warm up soon.
We're going to try to help out privateers get to the races. So when you guys join my group, that's what we're doing.
Well, it's helping a good cause, helping riders. Even like Stank Dog had a rough go a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So
so at the Arena Cross Series last weekend, Stank Dog actually broke his collarbone. And sometimes those surgeries can get expensive, especially for guys who don't have like full coverage insurance. And it happens in racing. It's just a part of racing. It's nothing that could have been done to prevent it. But at this point, it's like, well, let's do something to help him. So his girlfriend Shawnee and I actually started a GoFundMe account. So if you go to Stank Dog's Instagram page at StankDog726, you guys can click on the GoFundMe link, make a donation, and kind of help him get back on track and pay for that surgery. And I mean, I know there's a lot of Stank Dog fans out there, and if you want to see him back on track, that's a great way to help him.
Awesome. All right, Kristen, we'll stop shivering, get back inside, and get warm, and enjoy the rest of your night. You know, announcing for the Arena Cross League. But thank you so much for calling in. It was kind of good to hear your thoughts. You and I disagree on the Ferrandis situation, but I guess we'll find out who's right in a few hours, and I'm going to rub it in if I'm right.
Come at me. I'll see you guys, and thanks so much for having me on. I promise next time I'll be less cold.
Oh, don't worry about it. Thank you so much. You have a good night, all right?
See ya.
Oh, she was cold.
I mean, that really is a tough one for me, Ferrandis.
There's a lot of people who were, I mean, the poll said no Ferrandis in the top 5 or that the podium was a fluke, and I've seen a lot of people for the wild card here. I mean, let's see here. Curtis Miller's got him for the wild card. Dean Wilson for 7th. Dino. All right, well, let's talk about the wild card then. Actually, we haven't talked about Cooper Webb yet.
That's what I was about to say. We got to touch on Webb.
What do you guys think? I don't know what to do with Coop.
I have a theory.
He doesn't look like the Coop of last year yet, and I heard he's kind of riding himself back into shape a little bit. Couldn't make the pass on Brayton last week. Brayton, that's not taking anything away from Brayton. He rode awesome.
Oh, yeah, Brayton's killing it.
But, I mean, Coop's going to win. It's just a matter of when. When's it going to happen? Is he a little out of shape right now? He got Kenny in that race last weekend, but then just kind of like, and his starts haven't been what we're used to.
This is my theory with Webb right now.
Yeah.
He's qualified in the first 2 rounds, 13th and 11th. In the heats, he's taken 2nd and 6th. He's not putting himself in a good spot. We need him to qualify a lot better, get a better gate pick in the main or in the heats. Do better in the heat. Get a better gate pick in the main. It seems like his starts are 14th and 8th in the mains. I'm blaming it on gate pick more than anything.
You think so?
I mean, we haven't heard he's hurt or sick or have anything going on, but he's just not getting where he wants to be off the start. So that's my theory on Webb. I think he does better tonight. I mean, he's qualifying 6th tonight. So watch for him to do good in the heat and get a good pick in the main.
Yeah.
I have him picked up in my top 5. I think I have him in 4th right now.
I mean, I have him in 5th right now, but the real question is when are we going to see the Cooper Webb of last year? We just haven't seen it yet. And I'm looking at comments right now. I'm seeing what you guys are putting. I haven't seen a single person pick him for the win tonight yet.
That's weird.
Not enough pressure on Webb yet. He thrives under pressure.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, well,
he likes to mess with those guys.
No, I think there's plenty of pressure on Webb. If you're Cooper Webb right now and your best result is
4th and 9th.
And you're squeaking in a 9th and then a 4th, and Tomac just won his first race already, and Kenny's been riding good, I'd be stressed out.
I'm just saying, do good in the heat. I want to see him win the heat. Get a good pick in that main.
I mean, look at that. Beerley doesn't even have him in his top 5.
Well, even with that horrible first 2 rounds for him, he's only 7 points back from the red plate. So
yeah, but still it's not that. Okay, so, I mean, so top 5 guy.
But I still feel safe with him in my top 5 over Ferrandis, Stewart, AC, those types of bubble guys. So,
and we have him right here to put him to win. You know, qualifying around 4th to 6th. That's what you said, and he was well outside that tonight. So,
oh no, he qualified 6th.
Was he 6th place tonight?
Yeah, he qualified.
He must have
6th.
squeezed that one in. All right, still not a winner
right
for
there.
me. Okay.
Right there where he needs to be for me. I'm still
There's
picking him
Brock
4th.
Lance says Webb's winning. I see a lot of podiums and a lot of top 5s, but that's the first
Get
win I've
somebody
seen.
in there wanting him to win.
All right. Malcolm Stewart. All right, let's talk about wild card, though, because that's where you're going to start making up points during the fantasy season. Wild card's going to be a big one tonight, 7th place.
Well, it's even tougher with Freezy out.
But yeah, but he's not going to get 7th.
He can take the wild card at any round.
He'd have to take out 6 dudes in front of him, and then, yeah, sure.
You're going to say he would? He can't do that? I mean, come on.
Anything's possible when you get freeze rate.
I used to be the man back in the day.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, the Wilson fans are definitely needing to see more from him.
Well, look, right now, my wild card pick is between Malcolm Stewart or Jason Anderson. But first of all, let's look at Malcolm Stewart's stats right here. Season so far, he's qualifying 5-4. He's qualifying good. And his starts are 7-6, and his finishes are 5-7. He is always around that 5 to 7th place range.
And he's been fading. We always think he's over it, but
Got
I
a
don't know.
little
Maybe it
tired
was the
last
slow
week, or
turnaround.
Tuesday.
I don't know. The quick turnaround between rounds.
This is what concerns me, though. He was in 5th for 13 laps last rounds, and then 20 laps in the opener. So he's always starts been good. He's right there. He has the speed,
back.
but he's not moving forward. He's staying where he starts, or he goes back a little bit. So I think 7th place is a good pick for that.
Yep. And it seems weird to say, but we got to talk about Jason Anderson in the wild card, like you said. I mean, his finishes this year, 15-8.
Yeah.
With Sexton out, one less guy in the top 10 for him to mess with. His starts are 11 and 13th. I think he's in the same boat as Webb. I mean, you're qualifying 9th and 12th. Where is he tonight? I mean, it's not good.
No.
He's qualifying 12th. He's just not – I don't know. He's never really been the greatest qualifier, but it doesn't even stop there because in the 2 heats he's been bad. I mean, he's taken 6th in both heats this year. If you're going to be taking 6th in your heat, you're not going to be getting the best gate pick, and you're just opening up more of a chance of something happening off that start, in my opinion.
Garrick's got him as his wild card tonight. Let's see. Oh, Stan M's got the same too. Malcolm or Anderson. What about Marv? Marv might not be. Marv's. I don't know.
I think
man.
Marv's better than wild card.
I think Marv's a better. He's a better chance of a top 5 than Mookie right now as far as just conditioning. He just needs to start. He'll be all right. But there's
Anderson not in my top 5. If you have him in your top 5 and can change my mind, put it in the chat. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
So.
What about CIANCIARULO for the wild card? That's who I'm picking now.
Let's touch on the ACs.
AC for 7th.
I think it's a decent pick.
Yeah, but that's I feel like AC for 7th is banking on him something going array because his starts have been so good every round. He made that little mistake. He got 4th in the opener. Last week wasn't good, but he went down in that sand section. I think AC is a better than 7th, but
I'm just going to put it like
I could be very wrong on that.
He still said he has some type of nerve issues. Secondly, he always has what % chance you put on going down in the main? 50% chance?
Oh, yeah. No, he still needs to clean up his messes there.
I mean, I love AC. He's a good dude. I love the guy, but he's too risky for my top 5.
Yeah.
And I think wild card's about where he's going to be.
Maybe it is because here's an interesting stat from last week is he only passed down riders after he crashed on lap 4. Yeah. And he didn't get hurt when he went down. Maybe the bike was twisted up a little bit.
13th last
Tickle?
week.
Yeah, but he ain't getting no 7th place.
I think he's very risky. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Eric G says AC is James all over again. Checkers or wreckers?
Come on.
I don't think he's to that level of James Stewart.
I just think he's not 100%. That's my opinion.
Look at that. Maverick224 says he's a fan of Anderson, but he's not fit or hungry.
I think that championship year did something to that man.
I don't know.
He hasn't been the same since. I don't know.
Look at that. Nick thinks Josh is crazy because he says if you have for your wild card, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I thought that originally, but now looking at him, like, you know what? I don't know. At Plessinger, real quickly, let's just talk about him for the last wild card. Be a good pick for the wild card tonight.
Nealon's giving him a shout out here. He wants to see some dancing on the podium. I think we could all agree with that.
Yeah. Plessinger, look at that. His finishes this year are 8-16 with starts of 10-16. His starts have never been good, so for Plessinger to get his 7th place tonight, he's got to start up around that. So here's my prediction. Whoever gets wild card tonight will start somewhere around top 3 or 4, like a Justin Brayton. We'll rip a good start, and as long as people don't go down, we'll kind of fade back a little bit.
All I know about Plessinger is he usually qualifies almost near 20th. I mean, he qualified to 17th first 2 rounds. Today, 10th.
Yeah. Or maybe you get a freaking Tomac or a Roczen who gets a bad start, and the best they can do is get up to 7th. But I don't feel like the track is going to be that way tonight. I feel like it's going to be, a 7th to 10th place guy who gets a good start and then drops back to 7th and just kind of stays in his happy place right there.
So you think Plessinger's a riskier pick for the
Yeah,
wild
because
card
I just
tonight?
don't see him pulling a top 5 start and then fading back there. He got a good start in H1, didn't he? Pretty sure he did.
Yeah,
And then he
did.
faded back a little bit. Yeah, I don't know.
He started 10th.
Anderson, and Mookie are both looking good to me right now.
I'm going with Mookie.
All right. Remember, Chase Sexton, he announced that he is not going to be racing tonight, so do not put him in your top 5, which is a huge bummer because he was riding so good. Oh, man. Tough tonight.
It's tough.
It is tough.
When you go 2 rounds with only one person being in both top 5s, it's going to be tough to pick.
Yeah, Marv is due. Coop's due.
Where to put Osborne?
Osborne's due.
I'm
Where
putting
do you
Osborne
put
up
these
there.
guys?
What do you guys think about on Race Day Live? They talked about there's a potential of having a completely unique top 3 podium this round.
I could see that.
So far, we've had 2. We've had 2 completely unique podiums.
Well, I'll say it can happen because of this track looks tough, and when that track is tough like that,
I think to not have a Roczen or a Tomac on the podium tonight would be really weird.
it would be really weird. But I mean, that track, anyone could go down tonight.
I know.
And when riders start going down,
I believe you. I just think I think those guys are riding so good. I think that with tonight's track, I just think that,
So
there's going to
Dean
be
Wilson-
fast. I think this track gives guys that maybe don't get the best start, gives them a chance to move up and get on the
if
box.
Dean Wilson podiums tonight,
Justin Hill for 7th. If Dean Wilson podiums tonight, good for him. I'm not going to make a bet or anything, but good for him. I think he needs to. Oh, man. Marv for the wild card. It'll be the first time in history that has happened where the first 3 races, thank you, Shane, it's a good
unique.
stat, that we've had 3 unique podiums in the first 3 opening rounds.
and it makes fantasy tough. But you know what? Fantasy just adds on to Supercross. So I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, it would.
The harder to pick, the better, I think. I mean,
Oh,
you get those
man.
1 years where it's really consistent and everybody doesn't like it. Now it's really unique. You got to enjoy that too, you know?
All right. Look at that, man.
That was a nice save, Prouse. Nice save.
Well, look, you guys have heard our spiel. We've talked about it tonight. Last thing is Christian says Tomac wins tonight. Change his mind. That's not a bad prediction right there.
I like Clint Dunlop. I really want Adam to come in at 3rd. I picked it. But want and what you think is going to happen
I wish I was as big as him.
have you 2 different
Man.
things.
Look, Christian,
Going with the heart pick.
if you don't put Tomac to win tonight after this sign, I will call you out so hard on Tuesday.
I used to have the rule in the Stewart years, James.
Yeah.
Don't put him in my top 5 no matter what. I don't care where he qualified. And as soon as I quit doing that, I started doing better.
Yeah, you know what?
So my rule with Tomac is if he's qualifying first,
Put him in first.
no matter what. Don't question.
I'm seeing some comments on BARCIA, and it kind of makes me realize that we didn't really talk about him a whole lot.
BARCIA?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like BARCIA,
Real quick.
but it's going to take a little bit more for me to have confidence in him. He was fired up about the shifter. It could get him going tonight.
He rode
no
good
doubt.
today. I could see him as a top 5 guy. Maybe he's a good pick for wild card.
Qualified 8th.
Oh, man.
It's right there.
Look at that. 9th place, finished 12th with a 12th place start. He didn't. Yeah, him, Kenny, and Webb all got bad starts last week. It was very unpredictable. But look, RMFantasySX.com. That is where you go to sign up. If you haven't even signed up yet, don't stress because top 2 or 2 lowest rounds are dropped at the end of the year, correct?
You start right now. Just the rest of your rounds are going to count. If there's someone that didn't get signed up and doesn't, it just thinks they started too late, it's not true. Get in there. There's still time. Plus, we got the 100 weekly prizes every round.
If you get signed up tonight, you don't have any necessarily throwaway rounds at the end of the year, but you still could be in the hunt for the top 10 grand prizes at the end of the year, which are incredible. We're going to talk about those.
Which, speaking of that, if you win a prize this season, we want to hear from you.
Yep.
Because a lot of people are, they have a hard time believing that people make these picks. And most of the time, it doesn't take a perfect pick to win a weekly prize. So if you won a weekly prize and you want to call into the show, talk to us, tell us what your strategy was, explain what you did to win, an email at support@RMFantasySX.com. Tell us what you won, what round, and throw your number in there. And we'd like to, reach out to a few winners, have them call in.
Okay. So there you go. If you want to call into the show, if you win a weekly prize, hit us up where Christian just says support@RMFantasySX.com. Let us know. We would love to hear from you. All right, so we're getting right now from, someone said lock them in. Who was that? John Houston. Lock them down, and that's what we should do right now. Christian, give me your picks for tonight's race. I know you got Tomac in first.
Tomac's in first. He's not going anywhere. Me, just purely off of starts. And he's good in the whoops. I'm going Roczen second.
Okay.
Osborne, I think you have. I'm putting him in there. He's got to do something at this point. He's looked strong, just had bad luck.
Okay.
Cooper Webb, I got him fourth. He's kind of the same way. You got to do something at this point. Marvin in fifth, because I still think he's just going to consistency the crap out of everyone this year and be up there all year.
All right.
And I'm going with Stewart in my wild card. So.
Okay. I like that. Here's my picks. Tomac, Osborne, Ken Roczen. I haven't forgot about the points leader, Justin BARCIA. I have him fourth, Cooper Webb fifth, and my wild card, I've got Jason Anderson.
So no AC for either one of us.
Man,
Hold on. Do you have Marv in your picks?
No, I don't. I have no AC and no Marv. But, hey.
That's insane.
Hey, Triple Threat says Brayton for wild card. That's also not a bad pick.
No, it's not. He got a podium last week. That would be a good pick for top. Yeah, there are so many riders that could be wild card tonight. It's statistically, I don't know. It's any man's wild card right now at this point.
Yeah, and you can even go to riders that finish a little worse than seventh normally or have been because Sexton's out.
Yeah.
So you got to factor that in.
Kind of give him one more spot.
We did have a very most solid meme of Brayton.
Yeah.
On the Instagram last year, some Happy Gilmore type stuff.
Mookie or Anderson, man. It's going to be one of those two. I'm calling it right now. All right, well, they are locked in. Remember, RMFantasysX.com. Christian, real quick, let's just talk about prizes before we let these people go so they can have some time to mentally prep and really ponder their picks for tonight. Grand prizes.
Let's look at the grand prizes on the year. First place is going to take Fly Racing gear package. Stay Sick, stability cycle and accessories for your kid to get him started. And 10th place, a Motion Pro Tools prize pack. So
all right.
That's what's up for grabs on the season. What do we got up this week?
Well, weekly prizes. Sorry, I was just messaging back Cody on the chat there, telling him Coop for fifth because he said I'm crazy. All right, look at this. We got a set of Mobius X8 knee braces up for grabs for a first place prize. That could be a grand prize, people. It's a weekly prize.
I know. That's huge.
Mobius knee braces. I rode those for a long time. They're awesome. We've got a Shoei VFX Evo helmet, Fox Instinct boots. We've got a Fly spending spree, basically. You get jersey pant gloves, Bridgestone Battlecross tires, a Cherokee spending spree. Scotia's in there. Seven's going to give away a casual spending spree. Scott with some Prospect goggles. Bell with the MX-9 with MIPS. And, of course, 90 Rocky Mountain ATV MC gift cards. Come
Huge
to our
prizes.
site, spend some money, get your gear, go ride your dirt bike, ATV, UTV, whatever it is, and have a good time.
Yep.
Christian, is there anything you would like to tell our wonderful fans before we sign off? Oh, yeah, link in the description for the Discord.
Yep,
Don't forget
make sure
that.
to grab the Discord. We're getting some race chat going on in there every week. It's good
Yes,
times.
I like it.
A lot of guys in there with stats, so I'm digging it.
Ooh, all right.
Good stuff.
Okay. Anything else we need to talk about before we sign off? We've already covered it, right? We're good.
I think we got it down.
Okay.
Let's get some points. I mean, it's been an ugly first couple rounds. So
The first round wasn't bad. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in this week. Remember, we are coming back to you each and every round right after Race Day Live. Same format as tonight. We just want to bench race with everyone, give you your thoughts, talk about some stats, and just have some fun time talking Supercross and making our picks.
Also, make sure to join our group, the RMFantasySX. Well, RMFantasySX. I think we're up to about 600 people, so we're up there with Jaywalk at this point. I feel special.
Ooh, all right. Well, you know how it goes. I am Chase.
I'm Christian.
And we'll see you soon.